Welcome back to season 2, episode 4 of The Gardener. We did, in fact, take a few weeks off because we're just in the heat of spring right now. We're so busy getting prepped for everything, and we were just too busy to record, but we are back now, and we're so excited to talk about refreshing your landscape for the spring.
Yes.
Hit it.
Rip and tear.
I
We knew Phil was going to get to it.
Yep.
So.
Just rip it all out, start over, call us.
Okay, let's start with something easy. Top dressing mulch beds.
Yeah. It's an easy way to just refresh your landscape in the spring. A lot of people stick with the same color.
And like, what's the reason people top dress their mulch beds?
Loses color over the year.
It's just for look.
For dyed,
Yeah.
90% is aesthetic.
Because you're not usually pulling out the mulch when you just top dress.
Right.
Right. Because your mulch over time is also going to decompose. So you're going to lose that insulation for your plants, that top coat. So yeah, we always recommend every 2 years. A lot of people like to do it every year. It's just kind of personal preference. I think it definitely makes, especially after the dull winter, it makes your landscape just pop, especially if you choose a color. Like, I mean, if you, even it's cedar, a walnut.
Well, yeah, you guys just top dress the nursery and it looks so much better.
Yeah.
Refreshed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an easy way to just do a quick pick me up to your landscape.
Yeah. So we just the other day, which we were a little late on it, but we just went through and pruned back all of our, like, cut back all of our perennials, pruned off the dead-headed hydrangeas, things like that. So you want to make sure you do that if you haven't already, to make sure the energy is going into the plant and new growth instead of
I think I saw
wasting it on the old.
TikTok.
Yes, it is on the TikTok. It is on the Gardener TikTok. So check
Jordan
that
with
out.
the trimmers and
Yes.
zip ties going crazy.
It's the way to do it.
Cut all your grasses down.
Otherwise, you're fighting for grasses for weeks to try to get all the...
I mowed grass for the first time this weekend, and as I'm mowing, I look in the backyard and I'm like, ooh, I forgot to cut one grass. So I went over there when I was weed whacking and just,
When I just went everywhere.
oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I could just see my neighbor looking at me as the wind was blowing right towards his yard, just like,
That's the thing. Like, we still have a lot of straggler pieces all over, and I'm like, okay, now I need the wind to like really
Yep.
blow.
this afternoon it's supposed to. So
Yeah, so we cut back all of our perennials down to the ground. Hydrangeas, we've talked about this a million times before, but just be careful know which ones you have before you prune, and always either check with us or online or something. But we have posted a video all about hydrangeas, by the way, but there's different types of hydrangeas. Some of them you can cut down to a foot. Some of them you only want a deadhead. So just make sure you know what you have before you do hydrangeas. What else do we do? Most of our just perennials, we just trimmed up the junipers, a lot of evergreens. You just prune to shape. Yeah. Took some trimmers and just went straight up. Okay, so let's talk about, like, so if you have river rock, you don't need to obviously top dress river rock, but let's talk about like weeds, preen, things like that.
Well, first, small river rock tends to migrate in heavy rains, snow. So we do top dress river rock, but especially new construction, your foundation plantings are going to settle from the overdig for your new house. So for that, everything settles. We usually either pull it back, add dirt, top dress your rock. But yeah, it's kind of a necessary evil for the rock, but it's not as satisfying.
You're not going to tell as much.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
we've had a lot of questions. Bob and I talked about this on the radio show on Saturday. A lot of people have been asking about like grass, which we struggle with a lot. So I need to get this done at home too. But like grass growing up into your rock beds, like from your lawn, or like in your mulch beds, or grass growing up through, like somebody called yesterday about coreopsis. So we have a product called Over the Top, and that is designed specifically just to kill grass. So don't use that around like your perennial grasses, because it'll also kill that. But if you have areas where grass is like coming up through like our bullet edging, it comes up and it drives me insane, you can use the Over the Top and it'll get rid of all of those grasses. It's also about time. You might want to wait another couple weeks maybe, but to do preen, so you can spread that all over your rock and mulch bed.
And he is obsessed with...
I'm obsessed with preen.
lately, in the past, I think 2 years, one of our quarries stopped washing river rock. So we started getting a ton of complaints from homeowners that weeds were growing on top of our weed mat
Yeah,
from the river rock after rain
because the rock's
So-
dirty.
settles and sits on your river rock, and just weeds are going to grow in that. So we've been preening the top of our weed mat and throwing the rock on top, and we've had minimal problems.
Yeah, so we need, and if you've already done it, it's obviously going to be best if you do it on top of the weed mat and then rock. But like if you already have existing rock beds or mulch beds, you can still just do it on top of there. It'll work its way down into there. And it does need to be watered in. So do it before it rains. However, not necessarily like before a big storm where it's going to be really windy, because then it's just going to blow it everywhere. You just need a nice rain on it, or you can put it down and just water it in with the hose too. But the water is what activates it. So need to water it in. What else?
Updating your landscape.
Yeah, we have. So let's talk about plants. What are some new things coming in, Jordan, that you're excited about? New colors, new types of trees?
Be excited.
We got a couple different ginkgo trees that are new that are pretty exciting. There's a couple that only get about 15 to 20 tall and about 3 to 6 wide. So those are kind of exciting to get if you wanted to plant something by the house or something you didn't have a lot of room on, you could definitely use one of those. Shrub wise, there's always a new hydrangea. I can't think of the name right now, but
We have one that's coming in that's like almost a black bloom, you said?
yeah, those are all sold already.
Oh, okay, never mind. We don't have those coming in.
So
We do, but you can't have them.
not another exciting one, but Rose of Sharon are gonna start blooming in a little bit, and those are always a really nice one that not a lot of people think about when flowering shrubs. You get your more hydrangea lilacs, but Rose of Sharon's a nice complement to those.
Do you still have those different crab apples coming in?
No, I am on the wait list to get some.
That's really unfortunate because I wanted one.
Yeah. So I'm waitlisted. I think that truck came in maybe this morning, so I'd have to go up and look and see if they got put on there, but I don't think so. I got waitlisted on all 10. So
something we recommend when planting, and we'll do a whole nother perennial episode too, but we recommend mixing in different plants that bloom at different times, because a lot of plants bloom like in the same month, and then you get a ton of beautiful color for that month, but then it's just like green. Yeah, and just like the rest of the season is like not very colorful. So we recommend like getting some things, maybe some shrubs or early bloomers like lilacs that are going to start blooming here pretty soon, and then doing some allium doesn't bloom till like August. So then you have that color in August. A lot of things bloom in June and July, so that's pretty easy to find. But just kind of like mixing in those different colors so that you have color throughout the entire season.
going on perennial planting, Veronica has been a bigger one that's kind of making not a comeback, but a new variety.
That's your favorite.
They've come.
Yeah, Jordan's really been loving the Veronicas lately.
Ours last year bloomed for like 3 months.
Yeah, but you do have to cut off the old blooms, like the spent blooms, to get reblooming.
But they bloomed a good part of the year. I'm just trying to think what's in our yard that we planted.
Well, we used to have catmint, and it came to my attention that some people were like posting videos on the internet, and they're like, oh my gosh, did you know if you actually cut off like these old blooms, like when they're done blooming, it's going to bloom again? And so apparently it wasn't like common knowledge that your catmint will rebloom if you cut off the spent blooms. So just any perennial, I feel like, yeah, like Veronica, salvia is the same, catmint, where if you cut off those old blooms that are spent, it'll generally rebloom.
And Veronica looks like salvia. It just doesn't flop over.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite plants?
Well, I have a funny tidbit. Remember I was talking about how it was so cold out and I wanted to get rid of my corbels, so I cut.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming back.
They're coming back.
Full force. In the last 3 days, they are just
You're the only
completely like
Those are in full sun too, aren't they?
in the mornings, and then it's just full shade.
So it's morning sun.
So what do you want to plant instead of that?
I don't know yet.
Why don't you like them? I think they're.
I love your corbels.
I've never seen them they're just kind of crazy.
So big?
Yeah, last year they were like almost 3 foot across.
Yeah, they do get pretty
And they get massive. Like I've never seen them ever get that big.
No, they usually.
And they're in a crazy spot where snow gets piled on top of them all
That's
winter long.
Well, that's why they probably do pretty well, is because they get insulated in the winter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, speaking of insulation, so like we recommend for your roses that you pile up a bunch of leaves around it. And
Katie, this is spring. We're not talking
no,
about
I
that.
know, but I'm saying
We're blooming now. It's not.
because of that,
Oh,
it's time to get rid of all that stuff. So get rid of any leaves that are surrounding your plants. Yeah, I'm like, if you let me finish.
Easy.
So get rid of any leaves that are surrounding your plants, any like old, gross, gunky stuff in your plants, because that's just gonna like, I mean, like, for
what
example,
gunky stuff do you have in your plant?
we had our daylilies. We were supposed to cut back in the fall because it's like a soft, yeah, it's a soft tissue perennial, so they just get mushy and gross. Well, it snowed too early. I didn't get around to it. So I did that this spring. Some people will just like be lazy and let their plants grow over it, but then they're confused why they have a fungus or a disease or insects. And it's because that's just like a feeding ground for that. So you want to make sure you clear up all of that nastiness and get it fresh around there.
So, Katie,
Yeah.
what's your favorite plant at our house? You talked about it the other day. I think you talked about it on
On the TikTok
the
or the video. I said my favorite.
one of your favorites.
Our lilac tree, or well, I didn't even talk about the baptisia on there.
You're talking about the mock orange.
Oh, the mock orange. The mock orange shrub smells so good. Yeah, we didn't have to do anything to it because it's new and it's still a baby, so we didn't prune it or anything. You just prune those to shape. But when those bloom, the flowers smell so good. And so we put ours by our patio like purposely so that we actually didn't really have a great spot for it, but we made a spot for it because I'm like, well, if we're getting it for the smell, I want to be able to smell it. So do you have those coming in?
Yep.
When do those usually bloom?
I don't remember. I think they're June.
Yeah, it's a little later.
What's all of those get?
Not huge, which is why we put them there like 3x3.
No, like 3x5, 3 to 5 by 3 to 5.
Okay, well, we're going to keep it small
We're gonna
because
try
of the
to keep
spot
it
it's in.
down, but
So it's almost like a
it's like a hydrangea.
Like hydrangea, yeah.
I think some tags say 3x3, but then some tags say 3x5. So you can keep it pruned down, and you should be okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like something new on the corner of my house. I got that dwarf burning bush, which was supposed to not be a dwarf, but yes.
That's like Marlo. I thought Marlo was going to be a miniature and he's 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, his is the opposite.
Mine's the opposite.
He wanted.
Oh, you thought it was going
I
to be
was.
big?
I asked for a big one when we moved in. They did our landscape, and I was like, I love the bigger burning bushes. And
Not Culver, surely.
no, Culver's did not do it. And they's like, oh yeah, we'll put one in, and I'm waiting for it to grow, and then I finally found the tag in the back, and it is a dwarf.
Mm.
So now I'm like, we got to rip it out.
You should do a smoke bush.
I love a smoke bush, and so does Holly. Holly will sell it on you.
That'd be sweet.
Sell you on it all day long.
They grow pretty quick too.
That's good.
Purple and yellow or gold come in.
Okay.
So is there anything else people need to do to like prepare their patios or anything? Anything they need to do for maintenance for that, or not really?
You shouldn't have to. It was installed correctly. But in the springtime, a lot of people they hire us for pressure washing.
Oh yeah, just cleaning it off.
There's a lot of different cleaners out there. You just got to be very diligent, and if you're trying to do a DIY project yourself, make sure you're not mixing the chemicals with something else, or because it can pop or do something to your
Yeah.
patio.
I see some videos on TikTok and stuff of people like build a patio in my backyard with me, and I'm all for it, like all for the DIY. But then like I see them doing things where I'm like, okay, that's gonna look great for the season, but
Correct.
next year it's gonna there's gonna be gaps, there's gonna be things popping through, like it's just not done correctly. So do your research for sure.
Yeah, it's just like anything. I mean, if you can cut a corner on it, I mean, anything.
Yeah.
It's not gonna last. Or there's certain things like, people may compare pricing and be like, well,
I'll just do it myself.
you're a lot more expensive. Why? Or they don't ask why. They just see the price, but they don't see everything that goes underneath.
Because we don't cut corners.
Correct. We're going off the ICPI standards of how to do it and how it lasts. Yeah.
So, and are we still taking requests for this year for patios and stuff
Yeah.
and landscapes? And...
Yep. The designers are still going to appointments and phone calls and meetings. Yeah, they're designing. We have We still have appointments.
Yeah, they're designing.
Yeah, give us a
We're
call.
laying the
We're working.
patios.
We're working.
And we
We're
do
trying to
have,
get dry weather so we can.
yeah, it's been raining so much.
Starting this week. I heard maybe Thursday.
Hopefully starting plans.
Tree planting.
Tree planting. Tree
Nice.
plantings are starting.
Nice.
So come
Hopefully this week. So yeah, come get your B&Bs.
Like ours, like in the retail?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So you can,
Yeah.
we have two different parts of Culver's. There's our retail department and our landscape department. You can call and have like a whole landscape done, a patio done, and our crews will come out and do that for you. Or if you just want like a simple tree or shrub planted and you just want somebody to plant it for you, you can come visit us in the retail department. We'll help you pick something out that'll work for your area. And then our landscape team helps us out and we'll get them planted for you. So yeah. And then an easy way, if you don't want to call, and talk to someone on the phone, you can call and talk to our receptionist downstairs, Abby. She's super sweet and will certainly get you hooked up. Otherwise, an easy way to submit either your maintenance request if you want like cleanups done, lawn mowing, fertilization, or your landscape request. We have two different request forms on our website under landscape and maintenance. So you can just fill out your information there and we'll give you a call.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to add today?
Call in.
Yeah, we're going to keep this one short and sweet
We're-
because we got to go prep all the plants for you guys. So,
Springtime.
yeah. All right.
That's the dirt.